Good morning, it is Thursday the 19th of December. It's just coming up to 10:30 and I'm just about to go online, do a little bit of an Uber shift. It's freezing cold, so I'm hoping that may improve things a little bit during the day. Plus it's kind of the run up to Christmas. Past couple of days, when was I on? Was it on Monday? So I think when my last shift was, I think it was on Monday. Yeah, it was on Monday, so basically I've had Tuesday and Wednesday off. Just been too busy. But when I was out on Monday, there was quite a few like different people who had picked up had mentioned like they've kind of like finished for work now, and there's just generally more people out doing like Christmas shopping. I didn't even know that was still a thing. I just assumed everybody done it online. Maybe that's just because I do it, I'm not sure. But yeah, hopefully it might be a little bit busier. Not really surging anywhere, to be honest, or anything. But yeah, I'll see what happens. Yeah, it could be another crap day like Monday. You know, I think that was like £11 an hour. But yeah, time will tell. So I'll catch you in about an hour for a little bit of an update. So it's just turned 1 o'clock. It's been relatively busy, should I say. Just load this up. So my first job, a lot of it is kind of, you know, they say like right place at the right time. I mean, it's not the greatest of jobs, but I was pretty much passing, so like I'd only just logged on and then I got like a £17.20 from Bearscough going to St Helens. You know, it was a 15-mile job, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I was pretty much in the middle of nowhere, so it was that or ignore it and wait for something else. But you know, it kind of leads on to other stuff, so I took that. You know, granted, yeah, it took nearly 40 minutes, and then straight after that it was like a 377 for 1.8 miles. What's that, 20 past? And then I done a £6.63. Oh no, the hour had already elapsed by then. Yeah, so I've done them 2 jobs in the first hour, which then took me to about £21. And then at 11:30 I got a 663 for 4.2 miles, and then a 376 for 1.6 miles. Then I got an XL, it was just 3 passengers, but they had a wheelchair with them. £8.46 for 2.2 miles, and then a 424 for 2 miles, which led straight on to a £3.74 for 1 mile. They were pretty much at the same destination. And then I've just done one then, which I kind of accepted by accident. It was £4.12 for 1.2 miles. So I had to drive like half a mile to go and pick them up. And then it then popped up and said multi-stop. I was like, oh, what? You know, for a £4 job. Basically I had to pick the mum up to take her to the school, to pick her son up to bring her back to the house because he banged his head. And that was it. So it was just kind of not too bad. I mean, I'm on just shy of £52, so it's working out at about £20.80 an hour. So yeah, it's okay, to be honest. I mean, I'm still in St Helens. I haven't left St Helens yet. I haven't worked in St Helens for a while, to be honest. Yeah, the first guy who picked up, he was we had a good chat about EVs basically for like the whole journey. He was debating whether or not to part X his car in that he's had for like 14 years, this Ford Cougar, and go over to electric. He was looking at like the VW ID4s, I think. But again, he was a bit hesitant because he hasn't had an EV before, so he was asking me, because obviously so I've got this as an EV. And at first he said, oh, I bet you this costs a fortune on fuel, because he thought it was a petrol or something. I was like, oh no, it's fully, you know, full EV. So yeah, because he was talking about he would have to do like a salary sacrifice, so it was about £400 a month for him to get this Volkswagen ID4. He said he was looking at other like EVs. He said he's seen a full electric Corsa, but he wanted 30 grand for it. I was like, wow. I said, don't pay 30 grand for it. I said, you know, you can get Audi e-trons for 30 grand, so why would you go and buy a Corsa? But he kind of had like the same sort of myths. He was saying like, what's the mileage like The batteries only last 2 or 3 years. I don't know where this stupid rumour goes around, the batteries last like 2 or 3 years. You know, like I said, like Mercedes give you a 350,000 mile warranty on the battery. Vauxhall give you 150,000 miles on the battery. You know, so if you're using that for normal use, like my personal car, I do about 12,000 miles a year. You know, so the warranty is going to cover that battery for like what, 8 years or something, 9 years. You know, so and that's if there's a fault with it. You know, I've never kept a car that long in my life. You know, the longest I've kept one up to now is my Audi, which I've had for like 3 years now. Before that, it was like every 1 to 2 years, and more often than not, that's because you start having issues with it, or you want a bigger engine or something like that. Which once you've gone EV, you know, you've got all the power and all the acceleration that you need. So you change cars a hell of a lot less. Other than that, it was just all like little small kind of little jobs, just people out Christmas shopping. I picked a lady up. This is why I like this car, for personal use as well, because I do the same thing. When I've got the little one now, I'm able to just pick his pram up and put it straight in the boot. I don't need to fold anything down, everything's all still in it. And then when we get to where we're going, I'll just lift her out, we're ready to go. So when this lady come out of Tesco, she was expecting, you know, a little tiny car to turn up. She thought she had to empty everything out the top of the pram underneath, and I was like, oh no, just picked it up in one, put it in, put the brake on it, and that was it, good to go. So yeah, again, this is why I like something so big, because you can't do that in a normal size car. It's a full, everything has to be straight. Like if I go out in the Audi, everything all has to come out from the baskets underneath. You have to lift the little top bit off, just cram that in, fold the pram down, and it just about fits in the boot. Yeah, but that's one of the joys of having something a bit larger. Yeah, but other than that, I've picked up 2 people up to now, 2 women who were going out and both having their eyelashes done. That was 2 separate trips, and they both lived 1 street away from each other. Yeah, and that's it. So people just seem to be like pottering about, doing little bits of Christmas shopping and bits like that. I haven't really had any ridiculous kind of jobs. I've just had one that I didn't accept just before this little update. So that was from St Helens over to Runcorn. So it's 1.5 miles to go and pick them up, and then it's 10.5 miles to Runcorn. So 12 miles. You have to go across the bridge as well, which I think is like £2.80 or something, I can't remember. And they're offering £12.36, and then you're stuck over in Runcorn then. So you either wait for a job to get you back over, because I think Uber's supposed to cover the cost, but then if not, obviously you're having to pay the toll yourself to get back over. Now when I look at it now, they've got, you know, the usual fake surge bubble. The whole of Runcorn is all like completely red. But yeah, as we know, that's just like a little bit of a myth. So yeah, I'm just going to go back online now and yeah, see what happens. But up to now, it's not too bad. Like I said, you know, we're around what, £20 an hour. Yeah, just over £20 an hour we've been averaging. So yeah, not too bad. I'll give you another update in a bit. So final update, just got home. It's just after 2 o'clock. It went really slow, to be honest. I don't know if just because it was the area I was in, or I'm not sure. Like I said, I was kind of in St Helens all morning. What was the last update? About 1 o'clock. And then I was kind of hanging around for about 10 minutes or so after that little update. A couple of little small jobs were coming up, but it was just, I thought, I just can't be bothered doing it. They were that small. And then one popped off, which was £11.30 going to Kirby, which was 9.3 miles. So it was only just above £1 a mile. So I thought, well, I'll take that, because then I'm down, you know, kind of like Kirby way, and I can swing around either into like Ormskirk or Southport or whatever. And then it just kind of went really quiet. Like all the real daft kind of jobs started popping up. Let's have a look at some. So I was being offered jobs. I think that was the first one I'd done. Just before that, I'd been offered 10 trips, and I'd done 8 of them, which is quite rare, to be honest. Normally, you know, you've probably done about 20% of the jobs that they've offered, but the jobs weren't too bad today. You know, I was offered jobs like this. So I was in Kirby, I was on my way back towards Ormskirk, which is like a 10-minute drive. and I was being offered jobs. They wanted me to pick up in Ormskirk, which was 2.2 miles away, and then take them 23.5 miles down to Maghull. Basically, they were going to the airport, I would have thought, but it's just down as Maghull. So it was like, what, 25? It was almost 26 miles for 27 quid. And I'm thinking, as a private booking, I would charge like 65, 70 pound for that. You know, and that's what I get paid. So yeah, there was no way I was going to do that, which all in, I was looking at roughly an hour, if I was lucky. And then basically I'm going to be down by Liverpool Airport, which is like an hour away from where I live, or from like the area that I like to work in. So it wouldn't even be viable just to go and drop them off, turn around and come back, because then you've done 50 miles and you're on £15 an hour. So it was pointless. So I ignored that one, and then they then upped the price slightly from £27.16 to £29.83 for the same job. And instead of me being 2.2 miles away, I was now 1.2 miles away. So obviously it's been pinging around all the other drivers, and everyone's thinking, I'm not driving all the way to you know, to Liverpool, an hour away, you know, for what they're offering. So I just thought, yeah, it's getting a bit daft now. And then another one popped up. I think I just got into Ormskirk. They wanted me to drive 3.5 miles to Skelmersdale, to then drive 16.5 miles down to the Albert Dock in Liverpool. So all in, again, I was looking at like 20 miles. And again, that's roughly an hour job. And they were offering me £20.20 for it. I thought, I couldn't think of anything worse than landing in the middle of the Albert Dock at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It'd just be absolute carnage, and for 20 quid. So yeah, I ignored that, and I thought, do you know what, I'm getting bored now, so I'm gonna start heading back. So I started heading back home, knowing full well I'm not going to be accepting any jobs unless something half decent come up. And then I think this was like the icing on the cake. This is when I logged off. They wanted me to drive 20 minutes or 8.8 miles to Southport to do a 1.1 mile job. So they wanted me to go to Banks, which is in Southport, to drop somebody off in Banks. So it was just shy of 10 miles, and they were offering me £8.74. So I just looked at it, clicked the X on it, and logged off, because it's mad. It's as though like they'll give you a couple of jobs. Like today, it hasn't been too bad. Didn't give you the total, did I? So I finished on 63.21, and I'd done 3.5 hours, which works out at roughly £18 an hour. So it did come down a little bit towards the end. The last half an hour went dead slow, because before that I was kind of like hitting £20 an hour, and then because of that last half hour it dropped down to like £18 an hour. And if I would have stayed online any further, especially looking at jobs like that, you know, because to drive all the way to Banks, pick them up and then drop them off, it's like 25-30 minutes for £8.74. So it's just, it's crap. And I think like the main grind on that is there's 100% there's Uber drivers in and around Southport. I know kind of Banks is kind of out in the sticks, but there is drivers that drive past or offer it to somebody that is in Southport, which they probably have, and nobody in Southport wants to drive out to Banks, which is in the sticks, to do a 1.1 mile job. So why do you think that someone in Ormskirk, like 20-25 minutes away, is going to drive all the way out to the sticks to do a 1 mile trip? It's just stupid. So like I said, I log off, because all it starts doing then is basically finishing off what's left of your confirmation rating. You know, so at the minute my driver rating has gone up slightly, 4.97. I think that's because one of the 1-star reviews fell off, which I think I mentioned the other day. Someone left me a 1-star review for conversation, I think it was, because they got in and wanted to play on the phone, and because I didn't want to entertain them. So anyway, I knew who it was, So my rating dropped down to 4. Yeah, sorry, it was on 4.96 and it dropped down to 4.6. Sorry, 4.96. I think it dropped down to 4.9, something like that. So basically, I just went on and left them negative feedback, and then what I noticed the next day, my rating had increased again. Basically, because I'd left them negative feedback, and I hadn't done any other jobs or anything, so it's not like I'd accumulated more 5-star reviews or anything. I'd done that when I'd logged off, but the 1-star review was still there. It was still showing, so it was saying that I had 3, and now it's disappeared, so it's gone back down to 2. So of them 1-star reviews, it was 1 for bumpy roads, 1 was for some woman who got in. She was just angry as soon as she got in. She didn't speak to me, got out, and then started arguing with a big group of women who were outside some other house. So basically, she took her anger out on me. And that last one was because basically I wasn't like an entertainer for them. I've got 2 3-star reviews. Again, it's a bit daft because it doesn't tell you. I'd rather it pop up and say, you know, someone's left you a 2-star review and this is why. And there's like a little comment from the customer. It's fine if they don't want to tell you who the customer is, because I get it. Some drivers might go around, start having a kick off with them, which, you know, I wouldn't, but I understand why Uber does that, because some would do that, as we know. But I think it should just pop up and say, like, you know, whatever. I just didn't like your face. I didn't like the smell of the you know, the inside of your car, or, you know, and then you know, you at least know why. But it just pops up too. You don't know why. And then I've got 2 4-stars and then 494 5-stars. The confirmation rating, I'm now down to 33%. So when you look at it now, it's got from the 20th of November to the 19th of December, it's down. It says it's come down 67%. So now my confirmation rating's dropped to 33. And this is right in the other period of when all the other drivers are either ones that I'm speaking to or ones that you'll see on YouTube. They're all saying Uber has started offering people really ridiculous jobs. And it's kind of like, I've been getting offered ridiculous jobs since I started, but XL jobs. I get offered jobs that are like 15-20 miles away. But now it seems to be they're offering everybody ridiculous jobs, even just for Uber X's. And now everyone's starting to get annoyed and it's affected everyone. But I'm thinking that's been happening to me since I started, which was, you know, 4 or 5 months ago now. So yeah, as you can see, you know, I'll try and complete as many jobs as I can, or accept as many jobs as I can, as long as it's not, you know, ridiculous. There are some that's borderline, they're like £1 a mile. You're thinking, you know, I'll do it. But yeah, if it's just absolute stupidity, I'm obviously not going to do it, you know. And as you can see, my rating has plummeted over the past month down to 33%, which is purely because of Uber. You know, if you look at it back in like September, it was in the 60s, 66% acceptance, confirmation rate, and now that's just plummeted. The cancellation rate is on 2%. Like I said, it's rare I'll cancel one. You know, I know it's difficult when you look at it, but sometimes you'll accept a job and then you think, oh, I shouldn't have accepted that, it's really crap. But then I'll think I'll do it anyway. You just so as not to, you know, mess people about. I can't stand it when people mess me about, so I don't like to mess other people about. But there is the odd occasion where a job flashes up and then you'll accept it, and then it's taking you like all the way around a one-way system, and then it's coming up as like a multi-drop, and you're thinking, by the time I do that, you know, it's just going to be an absolute ridiculous fare, you know, so you'll cancel it. But yeah, they're few and far between, really. But other than that, that's about it. It hasn't been too bad of a shift. Like I said, it's not far off £20 an hour. It just started to go a bit quiet. And the big telltale sign on Uber is when you start getting offered stupid jobs which are miles away, that's pretty much a good indication to log off and go home. You normally start getting offered that either in the dead hours during the day, or once you get to like, I don't know, it could be like 2-3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, Saturday night. from when you've been busy, you'll then start getting all like the real draggy jobs, and that's probably because a lot of the drivers have gone home, so they're thinking, well, you know, we can either offer it to Paul or nobody, even though we know Paul's 10 miles away. So yeah, you just log off and go home. But yeah, other than that, that's it. So I'm finishing today a little bit earlier. I would have stayed out and done more. Potentially even would have gone and topped up on like a rapid charge and stayed out. But yeah, a little bit busy this evening, so I can't. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be out. I'm hoping for the majority of the day tomorrow and going into the evening as well. So yeah, it should be a long shift tomorrow, and should be a good one. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, if the video is at all you know, gives you any sort of information that's going to help or it's beneficial to you, yeah, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe. It is free and it does help the channel a lot. Helps to get it out there to some more you know, people who are interested, or the drivers like myself who are relatively new. Like I said, I watched, you know, at least probably 1,000 YouTube videos on other drivers who have been doing it for years, but it's they were talking more about how Uber used to be years ago compared to how it is today and things like that. Whereas a lot of mine is based on, you know, I've only been doing it since August this year, you know. So it's yeah, it helps out a lot, and hopefully it's helping out a couple of people who are watching, because you can see a lot of people who are watching, and then, you know, there's just not many people like either subscribing or just giving a quick thumbs up. You know, it's easy to do. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.